Our last video, I showed you how Marrazzo's has moved into this set of shops on Makefield Road, and they have a plan before the zoning board to talk about and propose an expansion plan for this set of shops and their operations there. On July 13th, that meeting's happening. And I talked in that video about the exact plan that you're seeing here on the screen. If you want more details about that plan, you can go ahead and go check out that video as well. It's linked down below. You also can check out the plans by heading over to Falls Township Municipal Complex and checking out the plans there between the hours you see right there. But in this video, I'm going to show you some of the code issues that I'm concerned about that I would like to see somehow addressed. You know, you can attend the board meeting to voice your thoughts or just to hear how our zoning board goes through the process of making decisions. I'm grateful to have people who step up to local leadership. It is a difficult job, and I'm grateful to have them doing that work for our community. So the links are here. I'll also put them down below. But here's a map you can find online as well. I put the link down there on the screen. This is our current zoning map, because a lot of people say, hey, people who are living over here, that your property backs up to this space. It's commercial. You need to deal with it. That's not exactly accurate, indeed. There's more detail in there. So if you look at the zoning code, this is actually zoomed in on the area that we're talking about. This is where Marrazzo's is and where they're expanding out to. You can see Makefield Road running there, winding way over there, and this is where the parks are on the other side. So you see these different letters. Those letters mean something, and if you look deeper, you can see this red box tells you what NC stands for. Neighborhood commercial. There are several different types of commercial zones in our Falls Township code. And so we've got neighborhood commercial, highway commercial, shopping center commercial. So what do those mean? Well, let's take a look. First of all, this is neighborhood commercial. It's not shopping center commercial. It's not highway commercial. So you can go online. You could take a look. Again, I'm not an expert at this. I just went online, looked at these things, read through it, and I see some mismatches that are of a concern. First thing I notice is the purpose of neighborhood commercial is to allow for small areas throughout the township where small retail and service businesses may be located, primarily for the convenience of the residents of that immediate neighborhood. So in other words, the businesses that are located in the shops should be for the immediate area, not for people driving 10, 15 minutes away to come to this area, not for customers another town over, on the other side of town even. The development of these areas is designed to enhance and improve commercial centers by ensuring adequate traffic circulation plans and lots of things like that. But ultimately, it's really meant for the residents of the neighborhoods that it's in. Now, if you look down below, you see in letter B, and you again go on the website, you'll see a lot clearer than you see it on this screen, all the different types of things: barber shops and beauty shops and restaurants and offices, medical, dental, realty, insurance, self-service laundry, baked goods, convenience shop, lots of things. The one thing you never see on this list, you don't see garden centers. Florists, you probably see somewhere in there, not garden centers. And that's really what Marrazzo's is setting up over there, is a garden center. They say it in their proposal to the zoning board. They say it across a lot of their literature as well. So there's no mention of garden centers being allowed in this area. You should also notice, buildings and walls facing residential areas need to be suitably finished for aesthetic purposes. Can we all agree that that's not happening on the backside of this building right now? I've heard plenty of people say, it's ugly back there. And does it look a little bit nicer having some shrubbery back there? Probably does. But that shrubbery isn't actually fitting into code. So we got to think of another solution to clean up that backside. We can agree it doesn't look the best right now, but this may not be the best way to solve that problem. It specifically says right there in the neighborhood commercial district, you're not allowed to have outdoor displays or merchandise or equipment. So all that stuff in the backyard isn't really allowed under the code. Maybe the outbuildings, if I'm reading the code correctly. Again, I'm just reading what's on the screen and looking at what I'm seeing. But otherwise, those things really shouldn't be there according to what neighborhood commercial codes say. And another thing is the curbs along the street in the front there, they're supposed to be 20 feet of evergreen shrubbery and lawn there. So that's, again, that's not Marrazzo's, that's whoever owns the property over the last couple decades. Nobody ever enforced that piece. There really should be something more in the front even. So there's a lot of things about this property that probably need to be addressed. But right away I see there's no mention of garden centers here. So you're like, okay, well, but maybe we could put it in there. Well, code puts it elsewhere, and that's the issue. In the shopping center commercial district, you see garden centers, and I've outlined it in red, called out. The shopping center commercial district is allowed for the development of a shopping center facilities that offer multiple commercial, retail, and service operations, and they're adjacent to principal highway access. You've got shared parking, different types of uses. You got lots going on here, but it's not meant for the local residents. It's meant for something larger than the local residents. You've got some duplication, baked goods stores and self-service laundry and department and daycare. So a lot of stuff you could do in neighborhood, you also can do here in shopping center, but there's the addition of things like theaters, restaurants without outside seating even, larger fitness centers and gymnasiums, and department stores and garden centers. So those who wrote the zoning codes specifically called out garden centers as not being in the neighborhood commercial district, but actually being in the shopping center district. If you go to highway commercial, you also see their garden center also called out there. So those who created this code, it would appear to me by my reading of it, specifically created 2 out of the 3 commercial areas for garden center. And neighborhood was not one of those 3, because a garden center is a garden center. It's large. It's serving a larger population, not just the local residents. It's not there for the convenience of the local residents. It's there for lots of residents well beyond the local community. So to me, I've got questions about whether or not this is even allowed to be here as it's currently set up. And it would be great if Marrazzo's could come and clean up some of the area, and be a true florist there, and maybe they use some of their other locations to help them with the garden center portion of their business. But because it'd be great to have a stable business in that area, adding to our community. But it doesn't look like the code as it's currently written allows for a garden center. And if the zoning board's going to consider this variance, they need to consider that fact as well. So again, you can, now that you have an understanding of at least what I think the code's kind of saying, you can go down to the zoning hearing board meeting Tuesday, July 13th in person or via Zoom. Links are there. They'll be below. Remember, this will be the last thing on the agenda for the evening, so you'll need to be there a while if you plan to attend. And you will be able to make a comment if you're in person or if you're via Zoom as well. This is a decision-making meeting, so you will want to be there if you want to have say into that decision-making process. Again, thank you to our zoning board for taking the time to go through these types of things, and I'm sure they have read this code a lot more than I ever have, and have their own thoughts and thinking around it, and I appreciate all that they're doing, and I appreciate those in our community who look to work together to build a better community. Thanks so much. Share this video with those who you feel would like to know as well.